Hello and welcome to Prize Book and Film, and this week it's a book review of Goodfellas by Nicholas Pileggi. Recently I've watched Goodfellas, the film with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta and various others. It's in the videos. You'd have already seen the video review I did, so it's there. So Goodfellas by Nicholas Pileggi. Now I bought this as a used book. It's not the best, the cover's not the best, but all the pages are there. I can't remember the website I bought it from, but I got it cheap. It's less than a fiver. So now in this book, Nicholas Pileggi, I believe, has interviewed, under great secrecy I might add, Henry Hill. Henry Hill is the main man of the book, and it's sort of in the book, Nicholas Pileggi writes the story, but then there'll be inserts from Henry Hill where he's told his story, and he's, so Mr. Pileggi will sort of outline this part of the story, or say, well, it was around this time that he went to the cab stand and he started doing this and that for Paul Vario, and then it'll say Henry, and it'll say things like, well, I started to go to the cab stand and running errands, and then it'll have in a big chunks from Henry Hill about things he did at the time. It's brutally honest. It's warts and all. He doesn't sort of sugarcoat things. He tells things exactly as they are, the things he did, and then it'll have inserts from Karen Hill, Henry's wife, and it'll say, well, it was around this time I met Henry and we started to go out and we're doing this and we're doing that. But as the book goes on, there's other people, like his girlfriend, that she has input into it as well, her little bits and pieces. So on the back it reads, at the age of 12, my ambition was to be a gangster. To me, being a wise guy was better than being president of the United States. To be a wise guy was to own the world. If you read the story, he basically says we could just take what we wanted when we wanted. They could just do whatever they pleased. Goodfellas is Henry Hill's own story, telling the fascinating and sometimes brutal details of day-to-day life of a working New York mobster. The violence, wild spending sprees, his wife, his mistress, his code of honour, which he does stick to for most of it. Where were we? From the small-time scamming of his early years, his first arrest at the age of 16, and initiation into the dealings of his wise guy friends and bosses. Henry Hill tells of the good times, dodgy dealings, indulgences, and the insularity of the mob-controlled neighbourhoods. If you read the book, Mrs. Hill does say they only ever went out and about with the other families of Henry's firm. So Jimmy Burke's family, Tommy DeSimone's family, and the other members, Paul Vario's family, and so they only ever knocked around with the people they knew and trusted. But things start to go too far, as they always do. To save his own life, Hill turns into a federal witness, and the mob is to this day still hunting him down for revealing their involvement in hundreds of crimes, including arson, extortion, hijacking, the $6 million Lufthansa heist, which was the most successful cash robbery in US history, and murder. The New York Times says it's absolutely engrossing, and I can confirm that is true. The best book ever written on organised crime, says Cosmopolitan. I suppose it's a very, very good book. It's a very good book. Now, on the front cover, you may not be able to see, but you've got Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Paul, I can't think what his last name is now. So you've got Henry Hill, Jimmy Burke, Paul Vario and Tommy DeSimone. I'll give you the character names. I can't remember the Paul Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Paul somebody, and Joe Pesci. Now, if you've got those 4 actors in your film, then you're halfway there, I think. So he talks about the plotting and scheming for the Lufthansa robbery. Talks about how, you know, doing time in jail, in prison. Talks about how eventually the heat from the firm came on top, and he was then realising he was going to be sort of snuffed out, if you like, which he didn't want. So he was placed into the witness protection program to save his own life, as it says on the back there. To save his own life, Hill turns into a federal witness. So he was immune from, he signed an immunity thing as long as he testified, and he's had to go effectively into hiding with his family for the rest of their lives. You know, but it is a good book. I mean, this one cost me less than a £5. I don't know what year this book was written. I might be able to find out if I have a quick look. Copyright 1985 by Nicholas Pileggi. The moral right of the author has been asserted, whatever that means. So yeah, it's a really good, it's a really good story. It's different inserts from different people. Nicholas Pileggi tells the story really well. Apparently, from what I could gather, he had to go to a sort of a secret location, fly to a different part of the country to, you know, and then Henry Hill was flown from a different part of the country by the US Marshals because he's under their sort of jurisdiction now. It does say that even the IRS couldn't touch Henry Hill for sort of taxes and stuff that he owed. So if the IRS are being given the elbow, then you know that Henry Hill is a very important person to the sort of federal justice system, if you like. So, but for less than a £5, I mean, I read this, you know, I'd pick it up when I was at work and I had a few minutes to spare, or if I was doing something indoors and I had a few minutes to spare, I would pick it up, you know, and just read a chapter, and then I sort of got closer and closer to the end of the book, and then I just couldn't put it down because it did accelerate towards the end. It really did sort of. It was good. It was a good book, but towards the end, I've sort of the last few pages, I found myself to be really gripped by it. So there we go. Goodfellas, Nicholas Pileggi. I bought it from an online bookstore. Type it into Google, and it'll come up, and then you can buy it. But it's a good book. I would recommend. You know, 5 coffee cups, I suppose, on the book rating. 5 coffee cups, and yeah, do yourselves a favour if you want to read about a good crime story, a true story. Goodfellas by Nicholas Pileggi. It's that good. So buy it, give it a read, and then let me know what you think of it in the comment box below. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.